Tip top trippers, my name is Donato and welcome to episode 5 of 119 days to go. Yes, are you ready? Because the honeymoon is now officially over. Yes, that's right guys, the honeymoon is officially over. So if you are new to this series, because there's many more weeks to go of this, please do give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and hit that alarm bell because you don't want to miss out on any forthcoming that's happening, because there's so much going to be happening in this one in particular, because we're going to talk about hydration. I know that's always a hot topic, as in drinking. Yeah, you know, gin. And also I'm going to go through the races that I've booked between now and London Marathon and how I'll use those races to prepare myself for London Marathon itself, but also to talk to you that maybe you want to book a event coming up between now and April, whether it be London Marathon, Manchester Marathon, Brighton Marathon, whatever marathon you may be doing in spring. Leave it in the comments below which marathon you are doing, so I know which track we're on. Yeah? Let's go. Yes, guys, 119 days to go on here. Yes, episode 5, chapter 5 on here. It does say the honeymoon is officially over. You have now officially completed phase 1 of the training. Which means the serious stuff is now starting. Yeah. Hydration. So much is talked about hydration and also nutrition, but we're not going to talk about that just yet because it doesn't talk about it in there. As the runs start to get a bit longer, you know, we'll start talking about the nutrition and stuff like that, yeah, because what we'll throw in, a number of you have been leaving comments, and I do love your comments. Anything you want to say about this video, beginning, end, be sure to stay to the very end because there is some juicy stuff coming up. There always is. Yeah, you know me, because there's so many of you who do watch all the way through, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. It does help the analytics here on the YouTubes. Yes, the fact that you watch my videos. Yes, it's great. As I go through each week, I'll be covering in terms of long runs, nutrition and all that type of stuff. We're not got long enough just yet in terms of the long runs. They're getting longer, but they're not over that particular threshold type distances. And I'll talk about the magic 3-hour rule as well, which I talked about in previous videos. But as this is a new series, I do tend to repeat myself, but then repetition is good because hydration, we need to start doing it all day, every day. It's daily habits, water, or in here I've got lemon tea. So sorry, not my regular tea. I know. What am I like? So for me, it's hot water with a dash of lemon in here. So I like to tend to stay hydrated on a daily basis because by being hydrated, I'll put my cup down. By being hydrated on a daily basis, we don't need to worry about are we hydrated enough for the actual runs that we're doing? Do we need to take bottles of water with us on the runs? We don't need to do that. Sometimes we want to do that. And obviously, and I do appreciate, and I do throw in a caveat that there are exceptions. So I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know you. You know yourself. So if you feel you need to take water with you on runs, even if it's just for 10, 15 minutes, you feel you need to take water with you, take it with you. If it helps you, take it along with you. But a lot of us, in terms of other runners, and again, it's ability and how we get used to sustaining ourselves. I nearly said sustainability. I guess that's another form of staying running. But if we're fully hydrated, because as we drink each day in our daily habits, we remain fully hydrated. And that's why you see a lot of people saying to stay off alcohol for the period of training, because alcohol dehydrates us. Caffeine dehydrates us. So coffee, not a good idea. It dehydrates us. So we need to remain hydrated. It recommends, in terms of government statistics and figures, around 2 litres of water a day. But don't forget, there is water in what we eat as well. So in terms of the fruits that we eat and all that type of stuff, that can be part of that. But if you're getting through 2 litres of water each day, that's fantastic and that's really good. I mean, I guess you could measure it if we get into the graphic detail, how often you go to the loo. If you go in too often, then maybe you're overhydrating. Maybe, I don't know. As I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here giving any medical advice or any advice to you guys. I'm just talking about what I do. I've been on some runs, and those you have left comments, shall we say. I've ran marathons without drinking any water. Yep, it depends on the temperature. If you recall though, last London Marathon, I drank at every aid station. Every aid station, yeah? Take a note of that. Every aid station. Because it was hot and I had an outfit on and I was sweating a lot. Which is why my speed did not deteriorate towards the end, because I remained hydrated for the 3 hours and 19 minutes that I was out there in London Marathon. And yeah, the water's needed on those long runs, but we haven't got there just yet because we're only about to start week 5 of our training. So I'd love to hear from you how your training is going, and leave it in the comments below. Hopefully that's helped in terms of hydration. Yeah, it's what we do day in, day out, and it's important to remain hydrated every day. Whether we're doing a run or not, keep hydrated. Yeah? Let's move on to races. So yes, I've got my list of races done, and I've booked, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But only 5 of those races are part of my training. So I have got a race, which I won't discuss next weekend. So by the time you see this, it's the Sunday coming up. And that's not part of a training. It's just a race I feel like going gung-ho for, because my training will then officially start the following week. So I'll have my 11 weeks, 12 weeks training starting very soon. So the race I've got booked in chronological order, and it'd be great to see you guys at some of these races. Feel free to leave comments below if you're doing some of these races. Some of you have left comments in previous videos, which is why I've booked some of these races, because I didn't know they existed. Yes, so thank you to you guys who've left comments mentioning various races. Maybe you should be on a commission to these events, yeah? That'd be really good, wouldn't it? There's 2 reasons why maybe you should start looking at booking, say, a half marathon between 4 to 8 weeks out before the actual event itself, so before London Marathon. Look at doing a half marathon for a number of reasons. And the key reason is not just to see how your fitness is and how you get on, and doing some hydration tests and things like that, and nutrition, although it's not needed as much as in the half marathon as you would in a full marathon, but it's good to practice, is getting practice, especially if you've never ran London Marathon before, or if you haven't run any big city races, is having people around you. And sometimes that can be a bit intimidating, you know, being at a race where there's hundreds and thousands of people. London Marathon, you're looking at over 40,000 people, whilst they have phased starts, and it's not one big mass start, and it's by no means the biggest marathon and mass start event in the world either. Having ran New York City Marathon, Chicago Marathon and Boston Marathon, whilst Boston is less numbers than London, the way the races start in the US, it's just one massive procession. Everyone's ready to go. And I think Berlin, I've not ran Berlin, I believe Berlin is the same, is all 40,000, 45,000. In New York City, when I ran it was 52,000 runners. Everyone is all there at the start, ready to go, all at the same time, yeah? Now, obviously, it takes a number of hours for the 52,000 at New York to flow through the start and get moving. They do stagger it, so it's not all running all at once. So they let off a group of X thousand, and then they wait 5-10 minutes, then X thousand more go off. But everybody's at the start. And when you see 50-odd thousand people, you know, as long as you can see, it can be quite intimidating. Now, it's not that intimidating in London, but it still can be intimidating in some way with numbers of people around you. And also you'll be running and there'll be people quite up close with you many times. So booking a race and get used to being with people. That's what it recommends in this book, because it's so far ahead that you'll say to do a half marathon that you wouldn't be able to book it in time. So it's important to book it and see with that time. As I say, we look between 4 to 6 weeks before the actual event itself. So that's one of the reasons to book it and do that. What I do with these events that I'm going to go through, I use them as part of my training. So the training plan that I have, I've already looked at the particular training that I have on the particular days and looked at the events to see if they match with the type of distance that I need to run on that day. So in chronological order, the Warwick Half Marathon on the 5th of February. I've not quite booked that yet because I had a problem with the online booking system this morning. Damn bugger. But I'll look to get that booked. The Hereford 10-mile race on the 19th of February. The Knighton 20, which is a 20 mile race, and that's on the 19th of March. I've got the Chester 10K, which is on the 12th of March, so it's only 10K, but I'll be using that as a race and maybe combine that with some training in there, and also see an indication of my level of fitness. And then I have the Droitwich Half Marathon on the 26th of March. So I've got the Knighton 20 on the 19th of March, and then Droitwich Half on the 26th of March. The Droitwich Half, I won't be racing either. Knighton 20, I won't be racing. So Hereford 10, I won't be, in fact, all of them, I won't be racing as an event on its own. I'll be using whatever it says in my training plan and running at that pace. And because I just enjoy running with other people, and also it'll make good content for you guys when I film these races, yeah? So gotta be there with the social media content, yeah, as every serious runner knows. So those are my races that I've got booked. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below what races you do have booked. You may have seen a previous video where I talked about the shoes, running shoes, and I always talk about in terms of how good they are and whatever. I did say there'd be a juicy bit at the end, so I'm going to show you a pair of shoes where I ran Manchester Marathon, 3 hours and 6 minutes in them, and I've been doing most of my training in them as well, and continue to do that, where I've now run over 1,000 kilometers, coming up to 1,300 kilometers, 1,300 kilometers, yeah, let that sink in. I don't know how many shoe tubers get mileage like that on their particular shoes. Let's show you them. There you go, Asics Magic Speed. So I'll be talking about these in a forthcoming video in more detail, but you can still see the treads here. Yeah, it's muddy, dirty, and the toe hasn't quite popped out just yet, but it's been like that since around 500 miles, 500k. So it's sort of stayed like that. It's come out, but the toe hasn't popped out yet. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments below in terms of shoe rotations. My rotation now will be just one training shoe and the race shoe, and that's it. That's how I operate. Yes, I've tried other shoes, and yes, I've got some old ones like those Asics Magic Speed, and it's the original Magic Speed 1, not Magic Speed 2, which is full carbon plated. I personally don't want to train in fully carbon plated shoes. That's just me, that's my preference. I can do a whole video, and I may do a video in the future of why I don't do that. And also, if I could find a really good racing shoe that didn't have a carbon plating, then I'd race in that as well. So that one doesn't have a full carbon plating either. It did have a bit of a plate at the front. I don't know whether that had any benefit or not, but for me, it was just a comfortable shoe. And if I showed you some of the shoes that I ran in previous marathons, I mean, I ran in Saucony Kinvaras. I ran 2 marathons in those in 3 hours and 8 minutes, and they're just basic shoes with foam. Yeah, so finding shoes that are comfortable for you and you work with. And I always mention, as a beginner, we only need one pair of shoes to do our training and racing in. Yes, by the time we come to race day, we may have worn out that particular one, and you may need to get another pair of the same shoes and run in those, so they're a bit more fresh and ready for the race. But apart from that, we don't need multiple rotations. And yeah, to be honest, you can save a lot of money and save the environment at the same time. There you go. That was my little kicker juicy bit towards the end. Yeah, so if you're interested in more of that, let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the time that you take to come and watch these series. 119 days to go. So enjoy week 5. It's about to start. I'm going to go out there, enjoy my training. I certainly enjoyed the following each day what the Garmin tells me. Did you watch that video? Yeah, I'll leave a link in the comments below in the description of I'd followed what my Garmin told me as a suggested workout every day until it told me to stop. Yeah, I know. It did actually tell me to stop. See you all soon, guys. Looking forward to episode 6. I know. Take care. Love you all. Bye, bye, bye. 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 Taking hydration on straight away. Thank you very much. Thank you.